Hey everybody, just doing a review for this Baseus 140 watt power delivery wall charger that features 3 ports, and just taking a look at the box right over here. It's a Baseus box. Their packaging is basically identical across their entire product lineup. But yeah, anyways, nice packaging right over here. It does give you the specifications over the back in case you want to take a look at it right there. I will be explaining the specifications in just a second. And so what you get in the box is the charger, of course, a Type-C to Type-C charging cable. This one is able to accept 240 watts of charging power. As you can see right over here, it does say 240 watts. These type of 140 watt wall chargers usually do include a 240 watt charging cable, which is pretty nice. So they make sure that you're able to use the full 140 watts of power delivery if you do have a device that is compatible to use 140 watts with. Also, you get the I think this is the manual right over here, the warranty card, and also you get some stickers, which is pretty nice. Yeah, these are stickers. But yeah, there we go. And so when it comes to the charger itself, it does have a 3.5 by 2 by 1.3 inch form factor, and it weighs about, I think, 10 ounces. So yeah, a relatively small charger, a little bit larger than my other 140 watt wall chargers that I've reviewed on this channel, but you know what, this is still pretty small. 140 watts coming out of this small of a form factor is what I would consider to be pretty tiny in my opinion. Over here it does give you the 140 watts GaN. This is a gallium nitride charger, which allows it to be smaller and still output tons of charging power. Over at this side, it does have the foldable plugs that just go out and right back in. And once again, these are the specifications on the charger itself. All right, and so when it comes to the charging ports, the Type-C 1 port is able to output 140 watts of power delivery if you're charging a single device at a time. The Type-C 2 port is able to output 100 watts of power delivery if you're charging a single device at a time. And the Type-A port is able to output 60 watts if you're charging a single device at a time. So, to get the most amount of power from all the charging ports, you're going to want to charge them one at a time. When it comes to multi-device charging, when you're charging more than a single device at a time, charging power for each of the ports will drop. So if you're charging like 2 devices or 3 devices at the same time, the Type-C 1 port will output 100 watts. So the C1 port will have a 140 watt to 100 watt output capability, whether you're charging a single device or many devices at the same time. If you're charging from the 2 Type-C ports at the same time, the C1 port will output 100 watts and the C2 port will output 30 watts. So that's a pretty drastic drop in power for the C2 port, going from 100 watts to 30 watts. So just something to know. If you're charging from the C2 port and the Type-A port, the C2 port will output 100 watts and the Type-A port will output 30 watts, going from 60 to 30 right there for the Type-A port. And so that's the same thing going on for the C1 and the Type-A port. It's going to be 100 watts from here and 30 watts from here. And if you're charging from all 3 ports at the same time, the C1 port will output 100 watts, as I have already mentioned before. The C2 port is going to be outputting 20 watts, and the Type-A port is going to be outputting 18 watts. So yeah, if you're charging 3 devices at the same time and you want to make sure that the device that you have plugged into this charger is going to be charging as fast as possible, you're going to want to use C1 when you're charging, from all 3 ports at the same time, because this is the port that's going to be outputting 100 watts. This one is going to be outputting 20 watts, and this one is going to be outputting 18 watts. So yeah, in comparison to other 140 watt wall chargers that I've reviewed, this one takes priority with the C1 port a lot more than those other chargers. So I will say that. And so yeah, with that said, I'm just going to go ahead and test this out. I personally don't have a device that's able to accept 140 watts of power delivery. So the best I can do is going to be 100 watts. So I'm just going to see what I can pull out of this charger. And so yeah, let me just get it set up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so to start out with the testing, I'm going to be charging my Xceptions power bank from the C1 port on the Baseus wall charger to see if I'm actually able to get 100 watts at least. Not 140 watts, unfortunately, because this Baseus power bank is not able to accept 140 watts. The max input speed for the charger is 100 watts. And yeah, looks like it is. I'm getting about 96 watts. The screen for the River 2 power station is reading 105 watts. Yeah, I'm sorry. The once the USB-C watt meter gets displaced, the recharging stops. Anyways, yeah, 96 watts right there. The River 2 power station screen is reading 105 watts. Yeah, I know it's blurry right over there because this power bank is in focus, but you can see it a little bit. But yeah, there we go. I'm getting about 100 watts of power delivery from C1 on the Baseus wall charger. And let me go ahead and test out the C2 port right over here. And so I'm getting about 100 watts of power delivery from the C2 port now. Yeah, so the two ports are basically on the same wavelength. Getting about 103 watts on the Baseus power station screen right over there. And let me go and test out dual recharging from the wall charger as well to see what happens now. Okay, do that, and hopefully this will keep charging. Yep, there we go. All right, I'm going to be charging my Baseus power bank from the C2 port. And so the Baseus power bank should charge at 30 watts, right? Yeah, 30 watts. I still got 100 watts going into the Acceptress power bank right over here. The Baseus power bank is charging at 30 watts. Max output currently is 140 watts right there. So I'm using the full power of this Baseus wall charger practically. You know, 100 watts right here, 30 watts right here. I'm at about 130 watts, but the EcoFlow power station screen is reading 140 watts. So yeah, there we go. That's good to go. And let me just go and test out the triple charging as well with a Type A charging cable. What's going to happen is that I should be able to fast charge my Note 9. Yeah, so yeah, fast charging is going on for my Note 9. The Acceptress power bank is continuing to charge at 100 watts, and the Baseus power bank downgraded to a 20 watt recharge speed, just as the specifications say it's able to. And so yeah, there we go. That's how it works for this Baseus wall charger. Let me just test out one more thing to see if I'm able to charge my Lenovo laptop right over here. I'm gonna plug in my Lenovo laptop to the C1 port. I'm gonna plug in this Acceptress power bank to the C2 port. Okay, I finally have everything connected. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so my Lenovo laptop is charging at about 33 watts right there. The Acceptress power bank is charging at 20 watts, and my Note 9 is fast charging, I believe, from the Type A port right now. Yeah, so fast charging from the Type A port on the Baseus wall charger. And yeah, there we go. You can charge multiple devices at the same time. You can fast charge multiple devices at the same time. It just depends on what devices you're charging. You know, once again, in comparison to my other 140 watt wall charger reviews that also feature two Type-C ports and a single Type-A port, you know, like the U-Green wall charger, the Voltme 140 watt wall chargers, those have a higher output with the other C2 port and the Type-A port, even when you're charging three devices. But in this case, this Baseus wall charger takes a lot more priority for the C1 port because it outputs 100 watts even when you're charging three devices at the same time. So, I mean, that's actually a pretty positive thing in case you're looking for that, in case you want to charge three devices at the same time, but you want to make sure that the C1 port is able to output 100 watts and really fast charge that device that's plugged into the C1 port. I'm currently getting about 95 watts of output power from the wall charger when I'm charging the Lenovo laptop, the power bank, and my phone. And so yeah, that is my review for the Baseus 140 watt power delivery wall charger. Yeah, pretty reliable wall charger because 140 watts is a ton of charging power. I will have a link to the product page for this charger down in the description below. I will also have a link to the review article over at chargerharbor.com in case you want to read a review for it. And so yeah, I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.